The crossing at Auburn Hills versus Demont Carter. Appearance for the record.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Sidney Katz on behalf of the plaintiff.
Demont Carter.
All right, I believe we are here today for a motion to stay the proceedings. Is that correct?
Yes.
So I know you were supposed to be out by July 9th. I don't see the motion filed.
It was filed in person.
Okay, they should have scanned it and uploaded it to me, but you may proceed. What's going on?
Well, nothing necessarily. So I'm not sure if they were withholding the mail for the previous court date that I ended up finding out that I missed. I definitely would not have missed it for the in-person one, but that's nor here nor there. We have pretty much been under the process of obtaining finding a new home because for whatever reason, I'm not able to come to some sort of agreement with Sidney Katz and their who they're representing. It's actually extremely difficult to speak with them to actually come to any resolution outside of them wanting us to just be removed from the property for quote unquote, I guess, multiple lease violations for our small dog, which I don't really think should have ever been a reason to remove us. But that's pretty much why we're here.
It's because I remember we set a bench trial for in-person for June 15th. You appeared on that date, and I remember I gave the date of June 29th in court before everyone left to say, okay, we're going to come back in 2 weeks, June 29th at 2:30 in person. Now, this is where I'm going to step in the shoes of myself. We're two different people. What you eat and what you drink don't have an effect on me and vice versa. But if the judge is telling me that in 2 weeks I need to come back to court on this date and time, I don't need a notice of period in the mail to tell me I need to be here. I would show up 2 weeks on that date and time. I'm just me. Because you have the date. You may not have gotten it in the mail, but Judge Bowie on this record that can pull the recording up told you the date and time in which we're going to continue the bench trial. But I'll let you marinate on that. Mr. Katz, do you want to respond?
Your Honor, you basically said what I was going to tell you because what I was going to indicate because I recall that we were very clear as far as the date that we were coming back. Not only that, but the court probably mailed a notice to appear as well. Why Mr. Carter didn't receive it is not really relevant since he was already informed of the date anyway. So, my client just, we're trying to just figure out when my client can get possession of the property at this point.
Okay, because so I don't see any reason to grant the motion to stay the proceedings. Let me see.
And there was
you
a writ
date.
filed with the court, Your Honor.
Okay, yep, I got the writ. Okay, I see this motion was. Yeah, I got it right here. It was default entered on June 30th. We received this on June 20th, July 20th. All right, I see this right here. The attached notice. Okay, that's for today's proceeding. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe you can work out something with them. They can give you some time to get out of there. But did you say you filed an application, Mr. Katz? I don't see it. I don't see a lot of stuff.
Yeah, there was an application order of eviction that was filed on probably early July.
Okay. They need to push those through. Okay. Because I don't see it uploaded in the file. All right.
All right. I will be in touch with the court just to make sure that they know to push that along. And hopefully Mr. Carter he indicated that he's pretty much in the process of moving out. So hopefully that will happen before the court process takes effect.
I'm in the process of locating somewhere else to move while I'm still under the very strong belief that I truly should not be being removed or evicted from the property now. Right. So truly while I'm at court, like I cannot afford a lawyer, right? more so even being able to afford to submit a bunch of applications to a lot of other places. And then in terms with, I know Judge spoke on us mentioning the date. I didn't recall, and then that is definitely my fault on not recording it, writing it down somewhere. This is my first time going through a court process, right? It's not something that I'm familiar with. I cannot afford a lawyer. I'm a father of one, and I, you know what I'm saying, like, and I work 24/7, right? I pay for daycare, I pay for groceries, the whole 9 yards, right? So
Get that, Mr. I get that, Mr. Carter. I don't mean to cut you off, but my mother had 2 kids. It was me and my brother who had cerebral palsy. Now, when you have a kid with disability, it's like having two in one, all the care and stuff. I can't remember a doctor's appointment my mom missed. I can't remember a school event. I can't remember like my mom. I'm not saying she batted 1,000, but she was damn near there. Okay, and so the date was given to you in court to write it down. For whatever reason, you didn't write it down. And I get that you got a lot going on. And I just grew up in a house where excuses just weren't tolerated. And I carry that in my daily life. I'm not being disrespectful or whatnot, but I gave you the date. It wasn't as if we snuck behind you and had this court proceeding and then you got evicted. The date was given. And so there's nothing I can do at this point. It's up to Mr. Katz. He still haven't filed his application in order of eviction. He did, but we got to push it through our system. He has 56 days from the date I signed that to evict you. So you got about 60 days to work something out and then talk to Mr. Katz. So,
Well, Your Honor, I'm not going to give Mr. Carter any false hopes because the reality is that we're 2 months from the time that we
Yeah.
filed that, and he's had
understood.
plenty
And
of time to
it
find
stayed the
alternate
time.
housing.
Right. And it stayed the time. So, I mean, I don't know, Mr. Carter. You know, you may want to talk and see what they can do for you, but the motion to set aside default possession judgment is denied. And I'm going to note, Mr. Katz, please file an order to that effect.
Yes,
And
I will.
we are all
And
set.
I'll call the court as far as that order of eviction and just make sure that it's not lost in the system. Thank you,
Okay,
Your Honor.
so we're all set.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too. Thank you.
So in terms of having a conversation with Mr. Cat, who I'm pretty sure you can tell is almost impossible to speak to, what am I supposed to be doing in terms? I know your recommendation has been to have a conversation with him. I've tried to do that a few times.
Okay, so I would suggest you find some place to go, like rather immediately, maybe within the next 2 weeks,
Okay.
because I guess he's going to call and get the application pushed through to me so I can electronically sign it. So that would be my recommendation. Yeah.
Just makes no sense. All right. I guess. Okay. So so we pretty much have approved the eviction, not because I owe them rent, because I pay them rent every month, but simply because.
Well, so Mr. Carter, so when you sign a lease agreement, obviously consideration for you living there is money, right? That's a term of the agreement. But there's also other terms that you must follow in a contract. Contracts, you can't follow them piecemeal and say, I'm going to follow term 3, but not going to follow term 7. You got to follow 3 and 7, because if you don't on either one, it's a breach of contract. So somewhere in the lease, there was something about dogs. There was somewhere in the lease in which, you paid, but you violated another part of the lease, which allows them to terminate the lease or say that you breached your contract. So that's what I'm saying.
My
Like,
thing is, but Judge, and I'm not even arguing on it, because you got to understand, right? Like, I understand exactly what you're saying, but their intention the entire time has been to remove us from what I believe is just simply has been like racially motivated. And the
Mr.
only
Carter,
reason I say that is because
let me ask you this, Mr. Carter.
we removed the pet.
I
The
don't
pet
mean
has
to,
been
I don't
removed.
mean, I don't mean to cut you off, Mr. Carter, but why are you fighting to stay in a place that don't want you there? That's diabolical to me. I don't fight to stay in relationships I don't want to be in. I'm not going to stay and fight in jobs I don't want to be in. I mean, I get it. It's easy to say this from the bench because it's you that got to mechanically put things in place to move, which could be difficult at this time. But you fighting to stay in a place that says that you're telling me that don't want you there. when there's plenty other places you can go, probably even better. You get what I'm saying? So, do have to move on with my docket. I got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 other matters, but just I understand you're in a precarious position, but it sounds like they don't want you there, and I wouldn't force myself to pay for people to service me who don't want me to service to be a service of, right? So
My question is, how are these kind of people held accountable though? When you've done almost everything to comply to their rules and they just pile lease violations to get to a point to say you have excessive lease violations. The pet was removed and the pet was the only issue initially. Like they asked us to do.
spending money and frequenting their establishments. Stop,
I'm
and
sorry,
then they'll learn.
say that again.
Stop spending money and frequenting their establishments. So you're frequently their establishment by continuing paying them rent to stay there or wanting to. Step away. Alert other people. Step away, So
All right.
like I said, there's plenty of other apartment complexes you can go to.
Yep.
You can go to the fair house. You can make a report to the Fair Housing Commission. Say, hey, from this date to this date, I got this many tickets, and I tried. You know what I'm saying? Compile a fair housing complaint against them. There are other avenues, but I don't want them to put an eviction on your record. So try to get out there as quickly as you can, because when they put an eviction on your record, it's going to be hard for you to rent, because people look at you like, nah, we good.
Okay, so how do I make sure that happens? Because like I said,
You
these
just got
people
to
are
say,
impossible to even work, communicate with, come to some sort of resolution. City
and then
Katz is
too,
like, what am
and
I?
then
I don't know
too,
how to navigate that.
and you sitting there trying to negotiate with people who don't want to negotiate with you. And that's frustrating. Instead of you taking a sign and be like, you don't want to negotiate? Cool. Let me back up. And for my next trick, you're sitting up here feuding. They don't have to talk to you, but you want them to talk to you. They're not going to do that. It's negotiation. The other side is they've gotten up from the table and walked out the room. You still in there. Why y'all won't talk to me? Just get away from the table and make your next plan.
Yeah,
So
that's fine. I'm speaking towards the eviction part. Like, how do I just keep that from? How do I keep that from going through? Is my only
like I said,
question.
if you move out before the eviction gets approved and they put you out, then it won't go through.
Now, how do I
So
verify that I'm out before then, though? If I'm not able to actually communicate with these people.
then another thing is we have a whole courthouse down here at 70 North Saginaw Street. It kills me that people on the other side of my screen say, how do I need to find out something? You go to the source where all the information is. That's the courthouse. That's the
Okay.
courthouse. We got
So,
files here dating back to the 80s, to the 70s. You come here, okay? And then we'll pull it up and we'll say, hey, he filed it, judge signed it on this date, or whatnot.
so
So
they'll be able to tell me when, like, the amount of time that I have before it actually is like pushed all the way through and on my record.
you'll come down here and you'll figure out. And then two, let me just say this. We're at e-file court. Did you sign up for e-filing?
I don't believe
Because
so.
exactly. Sign up for e-filing in courts in which they have e-file systems, because then it will go to your email. Circuit court, you have to sign up. Our court, we've been pushing backwards and forward, but I think I'm going to put my foot down and say, to file on the civil side of this court, you need to sign up, because that's how you get noticed, through your email. Because at circuit court, you have to do it. You have to do it. There ain't no negotiations over there. Over here it is, and I don't like it. But you will get everything that's filed in your case if you sign up to e-filing for your case. Or you can create a general account and then it'll be connected to you. So I do have to move on. I don't mean to cut you off, but
It's
I
fine.
got people waiting on me.
No worries. I appreciate the
You're all
insight.
set. Yep, take care.